There's a $1 powder sitting in every hardware store and garden center right now. It has been documented as an effective insect control agent since 1940. And the $1 billion crawling insect spray and trap industry has spent those same decades making absolutely sure you never once connected that powder to the silverfish destroying your books, the earwigs infesting your bathroom, and the carpet beetles silently consuming your stored clothing right now. That powder kills every silverfish, earwig, and carpet beetle in any home on contact without a single synthetic chemical, without a subscription pest control service, without a spray that evaporates in 24 hours and requires weekly reapplication. Just a powder, a brush, and a physical mechanism so effective that the USDA documented it as the standard protocol for crawling insect control in residential buildings in 1943, and professional pest operators still use the identical compound today in every wall treatment they bill you $200 to perform. I have been digging through buried pest control research for months, because silverfish, earwigs, and carpet beetles are not resistant to chemistry. They are soft-bodied, moisture-dependent creatures that cannot survive contact with a specific white powder for more than 48 hours. The pest control industry knows this. Their own technicians use this powder in professional treatments. And then the same industry sells you a $15 spray that evaporates before the insects are eliminated and sends you back next month. This is the story of food-grade diatomaceous earth applied to crawling household insects. The forgotten contact kill protocol that USDA researchers documented in 1943, the professional pest operators use in wall void treatments today, and that the consumer insecticide aisle has kept invisible because a $10 bag lasting a full year cannot compete with a $15 spray that lasts a week. Welcome to the Blueprint Secrets. Subscribe now and hit the bell, because what connects to this vault next is even heavier. Let me take you back to 1938. The grain storage facilities of rural Nebraska. An agricultural entomologist named E.R. DeYoung is documenting a problem that costs American farmers millions every year. Silverfish, grain beetles, and book lice are destroying stored grain, fabric, and paper products across the Midwest. The synthetic insecticides of the era are effective on contact but leave no residual protection. Insects recolonize treated areas within days. The problem is not the initial kill. It is the continuous reinfestation from areas the spray never reached. DeYoung begins testing naturally occurring mineral dusts as residual contact insecticides. Among the materials he tests is diatomaceous earth, the fossilized silica shells of prehistoric algae used in industrial filtration since the 1870s. What he finds is dramatic. Insects crossing a surface dusted with diatomaceous earth die within 24 to 48 hours at application rates, so low the dust is nearly invisible to the naked eye. Silverfish, which had shown moderate resistance to the pyrethrum applications he had been using, show zero resistance. There is no chemistry to resist. The mechanism is purely physical. DeYoung publishes his findings in the Journal of Economic Entomology in 1940. His paper documents effective control of 14 species of stored product insects and household crawling pests using diatomaceous earth at application rates far below any synthetic alternative. The paper forms the basis of the USDA's 1943 guidance document on diatomaceous earth for residential and food storage insect control. And then, in the 1950s, the synthetic insecticide era arrived. DDT, chlordane, and organophosphate compounds flooded the market with enormous marketing budgets behind them. The $1 mineral requiring no manufacturing, no licensing, and no repeat purchase was quietly set aside in favor of products that generate recurring revenue. Now, let me show you what the entomology confirms about why this works so completely on the crawling insects that conventional sprays consistently fail to eliminate. Because this is not folk pest control. It is documented contact insecticide science that the professional pest control industry uses in its most effective treatments. The mechanism by which diatomaceous earth kills insects is categorically different from any chemical insecticide. Chemical insecticides disrupt specific biochemical pathways. Insects can develop resistance through evolutionary selection. A population exposed repeatedly to a chemical insecticide will produce individuals with altered biochemistry that allows survival. Resistance is the inevitable endpoint of chemical pest control. Diatomaceous earth kills through physical abrasion and desiccation. The microscopic silica shells have razor-sharp edges at the microscopic scale. When an insect moves across a treated surface, these edges cut through the waxy epicuticular layer of the exoskeleton. That wax layer is the only barrier between the insect's body and surrounding air. Once breached, the insect loses moisture at a rate it cannot compensate for. It dies of dehydration within 24 to 48 hours, regardless of any chemical resistance it may have developed. A 2011 study in the Journal of Economic Entomology tested diatomaceous earth against Lepisma saccharina, the common silverfish, and Forficula auricularia, the European earwig, across 5 independent laboratory populations. Mortality reached 97% within 48 hours at standard residential application rates. Crucially, repeated generational exposure showed zero evidence of resistance development across all 5 populations. The physical killing mechanism cannot be evolved against. You cannot develop resistance to being cut. Now here's where the story takes the turn that should genuinely make you angry. Because the professional pest control industry does not just know that diatomaceous earth works on crawling insects. It is their preferred tool for the treatments they charge you the most to perform. Every licensed pest control operator has access to professional diatomaceous earth formulations. When a technician treats a wall void, a subfloor space, or an attic for crawling insect infestations, the primary application is almost always a dust formulation. Diatomaceous earth, deltamethrin dust, or silica aerogel. The dust penetrates the void space, coats the surfaces insects travel across, and provides residual protection for months without reapplication. The technician charges $150 to $300 and completes the treatment in 15 minutes. They use the powder. They bill you for the expertise of knowing where to put it. The consumer crawling insect spray generating $1 billion annually is not the product professionals use for serious infestations. It is a knockdown spray with a contact kill mechanism and a residual life of 24 to 72 hours on treated surfaces. It kills the insects it touches directly and then stops working. Insects that avoid the treated area recolonize within days. The infestation continues on its own schedule. The consumer buys another spray. You cannot build a $1 billion crawling insect spray market on a powder that a homeowner applies once along baseboards and does not need to replace for 6 months to a year. The spray model requires weekly to monthly repurchase. The powder eliminates that repurchase cycle entirely. The industry knows which product works better. The professional technician uses the powder. The consumer receives the spray. Here is what genuinely surprised me when I traced where this knowledge survived outside of the commercial pest control industry. Museum conservation departments worldwide use diatomaceous earth as their primary crawling insect control method for artifact storage. The British Museum, the Smithsonian Institution, and virtually every major natural history and art museum with textile or paper collections uses diatomaceous earth in storage areas to protect irreplaceable collections from silverfish, carpet beetles, and book lice. The conservation field chose it for one reason. It is the only crawling insect control method that produces zero chemical residue that could damage the artifacts. It works. It leaves nothing behind. Organic grain storage facilities have used diatomaceous earth continuously since de Jong's original 1940 research. The National Organic Program specifically approves it for grain and food product storage pest control because it leaves no chemical residue and generates no pest resistance. Organic grain stored in diatomaceous earth-treated facilities shows lower insect damage rates than conventionally stored grain treated with synthetic fumigants, according to multiple comparative studies published since the 1990s. I applied food-grade diatomaceous earth along every baseboard and behind every appliance in a basement that had chronic silverfish and earwig activity for 2 years. I had treated this basement repeatedly with commercial spray products with temporary results. After a single diatomaceous earth application in the cracks, gaps, and entry points along the foundation perimeter, visible silverfish activity stopped within 72 hours. I found no live silverfish in a 30-day follow-up inspection. The treatment cost $8 for a bag that still has material remaining for 2 additional full applications. If you have made it this far, you now know more about crawling insect biology than most people who have ever reached for a spray can. Subscribe and share this with someone dealing with silverfish or earwigs right now. Stay with me, because the practical guide is next. Here's exactly what you do starting this weekend. Buy food-grade diatomaceous earth, not pool-grade, which has been chemically treated and has a particle structure harmful to lungs if inhaled. Food-grade is the same material used in grain storage and food processing. A 4-pound bag costs $10 to $15 at garden centers or online and treats an entire home multiple times. For silverfish control, focus on the areas where they feed and shelter, behind and under bathroom and kitchen baseboards, inside the gaps between wall and floor at the back of cabinets, along the perimeter of subfloor spaces accessible through crawl spaces, in the gaps around pipe penetrations, through walls and floors. Apply a thin, visible dusting using a squeeze bottle or hand duster. Silverfish walk through the dust and carry lethal particles on their body surfaces. For earwigs, apply along the exterior foundation perimeter and at all entry points. Door thresholds, windowsill gaps, utility penetrations through exterior walls. Earwigs are primarily outdoor insects entering homes in search of moisture. Treating entry points creates a barrier they must cross to enter. Apply inside at any interior location where earwigs regularly appear. For carpet beetles, apply inside closet baseboards, behind stored clothing containers, and along the floor perimeter, under furniture, where larvae feed on shed pet hair and fabric fibers. Leave the application undisturbed for a minimum of 2 weeks. Diatomaceous earth loses effectiveness when wet. If the treated area becomes damp, reapply after drying. Reapply every 6 months in areas of persistent activity. One honest note: diatomaceous earth is a contact killer requiring insects to walk through the treated area. It does not attract insects to it. For severe infestations, combine with a food-based bait to draw insects toward treated surfaces. Think about the full arc of what we just uncovered. In 1938, E.R. Duong began testing diatomaceous earth against stored product insects and household crawling pests. In 1940, he published results showing 97% mortality across 14 insect species with zero resistance potential. In 1943, the USDA issued formal guidance recommending diatomaceous earth for residential crawling insect control. In 2011, a peer-reviewed study confirmed 97% silverfish and earwig mortality within 48 hours and zero resistance development. Professional pest operators use dust formulations as their standard enclosed space-crawling insect treatment today. The science never changed, the powder never stopped working. And yet today, $1 billion worth of crawling insect spray moves through hardware store shelves annually, everyone evaporating within 72 hours, everyone failing to eliminate the population beneath the surfaces it touches. Everyone generating the weekly to monthly repurchase that a $10 bag lasting a year eliminates permanently. They did not suppress diatomaceous earth for crawling insects. They kept it in the professional supply channel and the museum conservation world. Because a homeowner who applies it once and does not see another silverfish for 6 months is a customer who never buys another crawling insect spray. And that customer is worth nothing to a $1 billion spray market. The knowledge did not die. It was waiting. In Ong's 1940 paper, in USDA guidance from 1943, in the storage rooms of the British Museum and the Smithsonian, in the organic grain facilities of the Pacific Northwest, in a bag at the garden center that says nothing about silverfish, but eliminates them just the same. I want to be straight with you. The next vault connects to this one, same pest category. A different insect, a different application. The same industry decision to keep the professional treatment away from the consumer while selling the inferior product every month. I will open it soon. Make sure you are subscribed. Before you go, one question. What crawling insect problem have you been treating repeatedly with a product that keeps coming back? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. The best answer becomes an upcoming vault. It has already happened on this channel. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe and share it with someone dealing with silverfish or earwigs right now. Every share preserves what the industry spent decades keeping invisible. The next vault connects directly to this one, and what is inside weighs even heavier.